No, not at all. It's a completely forgotten story, a lost story.
We're here for your new series, A Thousand Blows. And the first thing that popped into my mind when I first heard about the project was that it takes you back to the end of the 19th century or the beginning of the 20th century, like it did with Peaky Blinders and Taboo. So I wanted to know what draws you to that era, what makes you want to tell stories in that particular time.
Yeah, I mean, the reason for doing this initially was Stephen Graham came to me with the story of Hezekiah Moscow, who, you know, arrived in 1880s London with an ambition, from Jamaica, with an ambition to become a lion tamer, and became a very successful bare-knuckle boxer, you know, which is, in itself is a great story, and I researched it. It's got fantastic stuff involved in it. I'd been wanting to write the story of the 40 Elephants, you know, the true story of a gang of female-only thieves and burglars, which is a fascinating story, and decided that it would be possible, since they operated at the same time in the same place, to imagine if those people had met, if Hezekiah and Mary Carr, the Queen of the Elephants, had ever met. So that was the reason for this particular iteration. And I do tend to try and pick the story rather than the period as the reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, if a story appeals, then, right. Now, you may ask, why do stories from this period appeal to me in particular? Perhaps I suppose they do. You know, I don't really think of it like that. But if someone observes it, then you say, yeah, right, that's right. I think it's an interesting period in that it was a time, London was then the capital of the world. And therefore a magnet for people from all over the world. It was a very powerful place, but there was a lot of poverty, and so a lot of story. The thing is, it's looking for the stories, and the stories tend to come from hardship and from the collision between power and powerlessness. And so the idea of doing this appealed in terms of story, but of course as well, there's Stephen Graham, who wants to play one of the major roles, and that's absolutely an attraction.
It's interesting that you said that Stephen came to you with the story of Hezekiah, because that's another thing that I wanted to know. Because I did my research too after watching some episodes, because the stories that are in the show seem, I wouldn't say out of place or out of time, but too good to be true. But it's insane that these people were in London at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I always believe that reality creates far more compelling, interesting and bizarre stories than any fiction writer could ever create. So it's always good to track down these amazing stories. And I think this is one of those shows where a lot of people I've spoken to today, journalists, have said they watched it and then looked it up and then were astonished that it was real. And that's the way round I want it to be, really. You know, the fact that people will then look up these people and realise that they did live these lives.
Yeah. And I stumbled across the book Grappling with History, and I think the author was helped you in developing the story and everything. And I'm now into, I think I'll buy a book about the 40 elephants. Is the story of the 40 elephants something that you learn in England in school, or that you hear about when you're in London or something like that? No,
not at all. It's a completely forgotten story, a lost story. And it's made even more amazing by the fact that they were still around in the early 1950s. Incredible. So, yeah. But, you know, often working class history is not really recorded and not known about. But no, it's certainly not something that people in England know about, which is why when I stumbled across it, I just thought, I've got to do this quickly because somebody's going to tell this story, and it's so good.
Why do you think it took so long to tell the story of these awesome women? Was it the working class problem?
I would think until a certain decade in the 20th century, probably that would have prevented it from being considered to be a suitable topic. But subsequent to that, I would imagine it's just luck or bad luck that the story doesn't get stumbled upon. And it feels to me that it is such a gift in terms of drama. And the power plays, and the fact there's always one person in charge and then that person is replaced by the next person. It's very medieval, and just the idea that they were so successful and so strict in their ways of behaving that it's a fascinating thing.
While doing the research, I stumbled across some things about the gang. So kind of I got spoiled by reality in a way. What certain characters will become at the end. Do you have any plans to go further into the career of the elephants with the series?
Yes.
Or do you have too much to do with other projects?
No. This is going to run and run. We want this to continue because the story continues, so we will continue to tell it.